Hey everybody, Coaster Brian here. Today, back with another figure review. This is of the Darth Maul. This is the DX18 Hot Toys release. So as you can see, here is the box. This is a DX release. It is a DX18 Darth Maul. As you can see, the box is pretty big. I think the height is of a standard Hot Toys figure, but it is a bit wider because it is a DX release. It does have a bit more accessories maybe, especially for today's Hot Toys releases, which kind of are limited on accessories as of late. But giving you a quick view of the box around, it's that typical Star Wars theming on the back. Some of the kind of credits of who is responsible for the figure. Again, this is a DX release, but really nice. It has a slip cover. And then here, as you would expect from a DX release, a bit more of the kind of in-depth packaging. It's a very sturdy cardboard. This actually is a sleeve, but it has another portrait of Darth Maul, again, DX18. Going around the side, again, it says Star Wars. Same kind of credits that were on the slipcover, and just more. So again, this is kind of different. It is a slip cover, a very sturdy one. So as you can see, when you slide this off, there we go. Okay. So as you slide this off, usually for your DX releases, on this kind of slip on the front of it here, there's some kind of an extra piece, some kind of a token or something related to the figure. So here, as you can see, a keychain. This is the kind of Crimson Dawn symbol, but it's very typical of the DX releases. This does come out. I'll just leave it there. But it's a little bit interesting because it actually is a keychain. You can use it, which is great. And again, this just comes off. And this would be where the figure would be. I do have it out. This slides out. So very quickly, just to go through this stuff. Of course, you have all of some of your accessories here. This comes out. And you do have the rest of the accessories. So next, what I'll do, I will take everything out. We'll see the figure, we'll see all the accessories, and we'll go into a little bit more detail from there. All right, so now we are back. So as you can see, again, it's a DX release. There's a lot of accessories here in front of you, and we'll go bit by bit. But first, before we do, of course, you always have your user guide or your manual for all of your Hot Toys releases. Definitely always take a look at this before you mess with your figure or any of the accessories. So again, looking on the table here, the figure, of course, the figure does have two kind of open hands on it already. You'll see in a little bit. And we do have 3 extra pairs of hands. We do have your kind of your grabbing hands. This would be if you want to use for the lightsaber, the hilt. You do kind of have some more open hands as well. I believe these would be meant for maybe if you have him sitting down in that chair. It looks like it's kind of hands to rest on his legs, maybe on his knees. That would be probably, I would think, the best use of these hands. And then you have kind of these hands as well. As we did see in the film, he did kind of force grab for his lightsaber. This would kind of be kind of like a force motion hand as well. And all the hands have that detail, that kind of glove detailing. If I can get the camera to focus here. Let's see if I can. There we go. Kind of has that. These are all plastic. That stitching detail, that wrinkling detail. Very nice. And of course, none of the figures have the pegs in them. But there we go. Again, you have the 3 extra pairs of hands. Right here, you do have that necklace he would wear as the leader of the Crimson Dawn, just as you saw in the film. It's made of a plastic, really nice paint. And the chain is metal. But there you go. All right. Next here we do have some hologram displays. First, I believe this is Kira by Emilia Clarke. We do have some hologram displays. Here towards the end of the film, of course, they were communicating through hologram. So you do have that of Kira. The likeness is so-so. I think it's just for what they could do. It's not that bad. You definitely know it's her when you look at it, but nice kind of translucent effect. This one here is a little weird to have, I think. I mean, you have the Maul figure, but then they give you a hologram version of Maul. So I'm not sure how you would use this because there is no figure of Kira. It's nice, don't get me wrong. It still has that same effect, of course, with Maul, with the red. You have that kind of red on for his head, his face. It's really nice detail for what it is. But I'm not sure how you would display this or use this. I mean, maybe you could use it with another figure if you kind of wanted to make your own kind of story. But movie-wise, I mean, unless you'd have a Kira figure and you've had a much bigger version of this, that would be the best way for you to represent a hologram Maul from Solo. It's still a nice piece, but I'm not sure how you could really use it. Here we do have this tool in the instruction manual, the user guide. This tool is what you would use for, if I can get this to focus, this tool is what you would use for the eye rolling system. You kind of go into the under the head sculpt, and you can use this to move the eyes. I will show you how you would do that in a little bit. Here we have the LED arm. I still have the plastic on it, as you can see. But this does have the LED arm you can swap out on the figure if you want to use to have the light up effect for the lightsaber. That's here. You do get the cell batteries for that in the box. Here is just the lightsaber hilt itself. Again, that was for Darth Maul in the Solo film, and that would be used with these hands here. Some extra wrist pegs. Of course, with the lightsaber, you do have two kind of lightsaber effects. Here, just the standard kind of lightsaber blade. In person, it's not really a deep red. It's kind of that reddish pink. It's kind of standard for Hot Toys with their red lightsabers. It's not really a deep red, but it's not bad. It definitely is clean. The light up effect, as always, it's kind of very bright towards the base. As you can see, what you do is you plug it in just like that. Fits in really well, but usually the light up effect is pretty strong down here and it kind of weakens as you go out. So it's not bad. It still looks very, very good, but it's not going to be that deep red as you would probably hope. And then you have that kind of swooshing lightsaber effects, like he's spinning or moving the lightsaber itself. And again, those would just plug in to the hilt. Again, it's a very tight fit, as you can see. These do add a bit of weight. The hilt itself isn't really as long like it is in the Phantom Menace, but it still is a nice kind of effect, like he's spinning the lightsaber. So you do have that. And these blade effects can be interchanged on just the hilt or the light up arm as well. It's the same way you would apply them. Next over here, we do have the figure stand. I'm not going to put this one together. It is one of the kind of rubber arms that you can use to bend and articulate with the figure if you want to put him in some kind of dynamic poses. Of course, it has the grabber. It does have the cushion to protect on the figure, but like always, you want to be careful leaving the figures in this grabber for a long time. Sometimes it can damage the material. It is a very tight grab, so be careful with that. But you do have this, and then the stand right here. It's one of those very large figure stands. As you can see, it will take up a lot of space in your display or in a detolf. It does say Star Wars, Darth Maul. It doesn't say Solo, which I don't know if you'll be happy or upset about that. For me, I'm fine with it. but it just says Star Wars Darth Maul. It is the metal nameplate. Nice texture on the bottom, and of course just your plastic, nothing else, nothing special from there. All right, and then the last accessory is the chair. So as you can see from the hologram here, when you do see him in the film, he is sitting in this kind of a chair. It is a nice piece. It's a piece I'm not going to use. The bottom does have kind of like a felt, so it doesn't, it'll have some better traction on your display, and it won't leave any marks. This here, the actual cushion of his seat, it actually does look like a soft cushion, but it's actually hard plastic. So of course, like with typical Hot Toys, their attention to detail is very good. This does look like a soft material, but it is not. It is hard plastic. It's painted very well. The sculpt on this is really nice. There is kind of a metal sheen to this here, but it is all plastic. And as you can see, there is kind of the indents where you could place the figure to sit down to kind of give him a better fit if you wanted to display him that way. As you can see on this side, it's pretty smooth, and on this side it has the indents for his legs to make it easier for him to sit and to stay in place. It's a bit difficult to get him, unless you really work with the pants on the figure, to get him to sit, I think, perfectly here and to have it look natural. For me, I don't want to bend the figure that way, personally, so I'm not going to show that in the video. I did try when I did first get this figure. I got him to sit almost perfectly, kind of perpendicular with the seat to make it look natural, but I didn't want to push the joints and possibly break anything. So you could mess with this, and you could, I have seen photos of other people, reviews and so on, of this figure getting him to sit in this chair pretty well, but it's something I'm not going to do for me. But again, this is the other accessory. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the figure itself. So, kind of panning up here. Here we have Darth Maul. So as you can see, this is the representation that you did see of him briefly in the Solo film. So just coming in very quickly. Here we have the head sculpt. First, one great thing with this head sculpt is it is magnetic. It's a magnetic attachment, just like it was for the Phantom Menace release, the DX18 and 17. So if you did want to swap the head sculpt of this one onto the Phantom Menace version or vice versa, you can easily do that. Again, it just kind of sits there very easily. So because of that, you do get a lot easy range of motion. Why, of course, it'll look unnatural, but you can go really dynamic with posing the head. Not so much forward, it kind of stops there to give you a side view until it kind of pops off. Forward-wise, that's about you can get because the chin's going to dig into the neck. But if you go back, you have a good range going back. So just be careful if you kind of want to hide that magnet piece. That's as far as you can go, is about there. But no, that's really great. You don't have to really worry about swapping the head or popping it off. It's really nice and easy. So before we continue, as I said, the eyes on this figure, you can move. So in the back, as you can see, there's those two white pieces. Those are the eyes themselves. I'm not going to move the eyes, but with this tool, basically, you would go into here, attach it. It's kind of hard to see because it's all black, but you would attach it just like that, and then you would move the eyes and articulate them into the way you want. So again, with your DX releases, it's pretty common for the eyes to move on most DX releases. So you do have that option if you wish. And while we do have the head sculpt here, again, this is the portrait of Ray Park from Solo. So he is older. He's not as young as he was, of course, in Phantom Menace. But for this head sculpt of Maul, the horns are longer. I know for a lot of people, for the Phantom Menace release, they were not big fans of the paint apps of the red on the head sculpt. I think this red is better. It is brighter. I know my lighting for my review space isn't the best, so maybe it's not popping as it would. Again, I think it looks great. There is that kind of snarl mouth expression. Some people love it, some people will hate it. I like it. I do like how they do have the kind of earring here. Nice attention to detail. But the paint apps are very great. Very well done. Again, the horns, you want to be a little bit careful. They won't hurt you, but when you do put it back in the box, you want to be careful it doesn't grab or break off any of these horns. So anyway, going back to the figure, I think the material on the figure looks great. You can see the inside here. He does have that tattooing effect carrying over into the body. I do know it's on the upper body here. On the arms, it's not. But all the material you see here, this isn't pleather. It's a cloth, but it has kind of a finish on it that gives it that kind of a look. So I'm happy with that. It's not going to deteriorate over time. Attached to it is the hood and the kind of, I don't want to call this a cape, but it's kind of like that drape here coming on the back of the figure, as you can see. It is stitched to the tunic here. It does not come off. You can cut it and it will come off if you don't want to ever use the hood, but it doesn't attach back on if you do cut it off, so be aware of that. It's not a separate hood. And of course you can put the hood on the figure. There is a wire in the hood here, so if you wanted to articulate it and bend it a certain way so it will pose well on Maul, you can do that. Just of course, no, because of his horns, it does keep the hood from kind of falling naturally on his head easily. So you're definitely going to want to take some time and kind of bend that wire and get it looking the way you wish. There is going to be a lot of playing around with the body, with the material to make it look natural out of the box. Here we have his gauntlets. It is 2 pieces. Of course, this is the arm you will want to replace if you want to articulate. You want to use the LED arm right here. And again, just look at the instructions. Of course, you just take everything off, take out the arm, slide in the other one. I'm not going to do that here. Just look into the user guide. But still 2 pieces here, so that's really, really nice. Again, these are the relaxed hands, both sides. Here we have his kind of his waist belt. There is no spot on the belt to hold this saber. Usually you'd have on most Star Wars figures releases a place to kind of hang the hilt, but not in this case with this one, so please keep that in mind. But it wraps around the figure, has a Velcro on the back to attach. It does look, this piece here is not, it is a separate piece from this here, the waist belt. This is kind of a fabric material here, but this does look like, as you can see, kind of a pleather material. So please be aware of that over time. This may deteriorate, but it's very nice. It only has those 2 pieces. Going down, again, it's that same material as the tunic up here that carries down. You do have these 2 pieces here on the sides. There is a wire, so you can pose. This one does have a wire as well, so you can get some dynamic kind of movement out of his clothing if you wish, and that carries over to these pieces here. All the lower body kind of clothing pieces, the robing, they all have wires. So it will really take you a lot of time if you want to have this figure, the body looking natural with its movement, to play around with these. But you do have that option, which is great. But it's really nice. Again, the tailoring, it's really, really great. As you can see here for this version of Maul, Obviously, by now, I think we're all familiar with Darth Maul. We know what happened to him in Phantom Menace. So here, for the lower body, the lower legs, you can see it's the robotic legs. It's really great detail. You can see here with the pants, they're kind of elastic. This upper thigh is just a normal plastic. It's nothing, there's no more detail on the robotic legs. Even at the knee, as you can see here, at the knee joint, it's just your kind of flat. It's meant to be hidden with the pants. But the lower leg is all the robotic detail. And coming close into here, as you can see, sorry about the lighting. It's very well painted. It's all plastic, no metal, but the wires, as you articulate the ankle, all that wiring moves with it. It's really, really nice. The pistons don't move. They're rigid. They're fixed. But yeah, really, really great detail. It's basically a mirror image going to here. And the toes, to start to go into articulation, the toes do articulate here too. Nothing on the back articulates. As you can see, the bottom of the leg, bottom of the foot, you have this kind of valve here. So be aware of that. It is flat when you do have them standing, but be aware of that. But yeah, really, really nice detail. So on the matter of articulation, I'm not going to go too crazy articulating my figure here. I don't want to break anything. But of course, look at the user manual, the user guide here to know how much you can do. So very quickly, again, we have that ankle pivot. We do have that toe articulation, as you can see. The leg is it's a double joint, double jointed knee. You can go up. I'm not going to push any more than that. It is in a ratchet. I know all the figure is a lot of black, so I'm sorry if you can't see much. It is on a ratchet. I don't want to push it anymore. It kind of wants to stop there. Maybe you can go further than that. I don't want to. But it is ratcheted, which is great. That's the same for both knees. Of course, for the leg itself, you can bend it up, bend it out. The pants, they are a bit baggy, but in the crotch area, it is pretty tight. So, and related to the chair, as I was talking about before, you're going to really want to slowly bend up the leg, bring up the pants, and so on to give it that room to articulate the leg up. It can, but it doesn't want to go far unless you really start playing with the pants and pulling these up and bit by bit bending it up, bringing up the pants, bending it up, bringing up the pants, so you can get that seated pose. But it does have a full range of motion. If the pants weren't there, they are restrictive a little bit. But I think for your dynamic poses, using the figure stand, you can get what you need for Darth Maul. So there's that. The waist, it does turn, but it's a bit restrictive due to the clothing. It can rotate about this much. It does have an ab crunch, but it's extremely restrictive due to this belt. That's as far as I want to go, but that stuff's starting to dig into itself. But you do have that ab crunch. For the arms, they are double jointed, which is great. The material here is very workable. You don't have to worry about anything getting ruined over time. It's all cloth, it appears to be. Even this middle part, yeah, it's like it's all cloth. So you can get that double jointed elbow working really well. It does have the upper arm swivel. There is a swivel, of course, at the wrist. Again, this is 2 pieces, so you don't have to worry about this stopping any kind of articulation. You do have that full range of motion for the wrist. Again, that upper arm. You do have the shoulder, but again, as you can see with the underarm tunic, it kind of limits your range right there, but it gets pretty parallel, as you can see. for the upper body. So a pretty good range. So let me bring it here. There we go. A pretty good range. It can go 360 around, but of course with the material it'll stop. Even going forward, again, pretty easy. The upper body, especially the arms, you can get any range you want, just limited by the clothing. Same thing on this side as well. And then again, the head we covered before, it has that full range, so you can do what you want. So yeah, so that's basically the full kind of review of this figure for Darth Maul. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see some other Hot Toys figure reviews, let me know in the comments down below. I do have, again, some other figure reviews on my channel. If you'd like to see more, please let me know. If there's any other kind of videos you'd like to see in regards to travel in Japan or anything else, please let me know in the comments down below. It definitely helps leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. I do everything I can to share my interests with you. So thank you very much. Again, my name is Coaster Brian, and that is all for today. And I will see you in the next video. So please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you then. So bye-bye.